Hey, you probably worry what a lot of people think of you, but what about Jesus? What does Jesus think about you? We're doing the Serving Challenge. This is day 7. Let's go. And welcome to the follow through. I'm Pastor Fred. We are doing the Red Letter Challenge, Red Letter Serving. So if you haven't gotten a book, go to servingchallenge.com. You can order one and you're not too late. We are kind of just at the beginning. We're looking at these 5 aspects over the next 5 weeks. First one is basically our attitude. Yesterday at church, you can go to christmemorial.us, check out the message about that. Actually, it's going to be on the Christ Memorial YouTube channel. Either way, you can find that. And Zach says something at the very beginning of this. He says that it's impossible to have a mindset like Jesus without having your mind set on Jesus. And we start today in terms of our attitude with what our limitations are. We got to be honest. We have to start with the bad news. And that is that we don't have all the answers. We don't have sometimes the right attitude even. We kind of get messed up. And Isaiah 55 points that out to us really, really strongly. In verse 9, Isaiah says, "For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." So that's actually God talking to Isaiah. He's sharing that truth with us, that we are not on the same wavelength as God kind of naturally, without Jesus, without the Holy Spirit, without God coming in and changing our hearts. And so we start with that need to be changed, that need to be transformed, the renewing of our mind, as Paul says in Romans 12. We need that. And that's where we begin when we start looking at our own attitude. We don't look at others and say, hey man, you got to get your attitude changed. You better change that. You better, kind of get right and all those things. It has to start with me. Looking at me, looking at my attitude. Where do I need to do some work? And what I want to challenge you today is to look at that. Before we even get to actually how we serve, we'll get there. But it's going to be a couple of weeks. We first look at our hearts, because we realize that what we do is always a product of who we are. How we see ourselves is really going to be kind of how we treat our time, and whether it's our time or God's time, whether we're here to serve. And that's all about our attitude, our mindset. So we got to make sure our mind is set on Jesus. And what you're going to need to do today to do that is, again, do some of the reading. Check it out. There's going to be a challenge for you to do at the very end of each of these readings, each and every day. We're going to be reminded of who we are. We are loved by Him. We are forgiven because Jesus died for us and rose for us. We even get to go to heaven. I mean, that should change your attitude right there. And so, again, we're in day 7. I want you to look at all of those things that the truth about how Jesus really does, what He thinks of you is what matters, man. He loves you. He bled and died. You were, even though we're not worth it, He did all of that. What an awesome, 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 awesome thing. All right, so let that sink in today. Take some time to really, really pray about that and really ask God to help you to see what it really means for you and for your attitude. So have a great rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be in day 8 of the Serving Challenge. We'll see you then.